Welcome, my gorgeous souls and my beautiful Aquariuses. This is going to be your June 2025 reading. This is going to be for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Many of you are intuitively guided. I thank you for paying attention to your intuition, as do your spirit guides. Because I read through our guides, our spiritual team. And, this is why we go deep in a reading. To me, it's like your movie, it's your book, and it's uncovering, it's unveiling itself to us. So, a lot of times that silver lining is a little bit later in the reading, um, but we always get to it. So, what else was I going to say? Some of you may be in love with an Aquarius, but remember that your guides know that you're also here. They probably knew that before you knew that. And it's interesting. I just put out a podcast that broke down what your sun sign means, your moon sign, and your rising. And in that podcast, I said that if you are, checking on someone else's energy, definitely look within their moon sign because it's the inner you. Um, so, but anyways, Aquarius, I feel like June for you. It's like girls and boys just wanna have fun. So it feels like an uplifting time. It feels like a sense of freedom. But when I say freedom, I just mean freedom from, the things that may have been weighing you down. It's like they're being lifted. I feel this is a month where you definitely, like, if you have something in the works, like, bring it out to the world. This is the time for you. And I feel for you in particular, like if you wanted to start a TikTok account, or a channel or a YouTube channel or whatever it may be, it's your creativity. That's what's being highlighted this month. Anything creative, um, just I feel like this is the time. This is the time. Some of you may be guided to like different creative outlets, and it just might pique your interest to the point where you want to learn more and more and more. And that may eventually be what you do for like a full-time gig. So I feel like this is a month just to be open, go with the flow, let the energies, envelop you, be free within it and playful. Like this really feels like a playful, fun time. I'm not going to say there's no hard work because again, if if you have your baby, then this may be the time. Like I feel the world will respond or the people, your guides will make sure like who needs you will find you. So I like that energy. Um, all right, Aquarius. So we're going to let Mother Mary open up your reading. We'll give her the honor. We will use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. Two cards didn't want to come up. Look at that. Two pages. Interesting. Page of Swords and a Page of Wands. Well, I don't know yet, but there could be communication in the air. There could be passion in the air. This can certainly talk about two younger people's energies. We'll see. But for some reason, they didn't want to come up with the rest. We'll see if they come back out. We're going to use the major arcanas for bullet points. I feel like they bring so much value to the reading now that I just don't leave them out anymore. For your main spread, we're going to use the Universal Tarot. So, let me grab a drink of coffee. I'm going to bring the lid down. I don't know why I always pour a full cup and then just take a couple sips. All right, because I'm excited to get into your reading. I just have a really good feeling. So let's start with Mother Mary. And by the way, you can certainly ask your spiritual team to send you signs of confirmation. Often in a reading, I myself get goosebumps as I'm speaking about something, and I just know that's confirmation I'm on the right path. But you can certainly ask for the same. I also get this feeling, and I feel this with a lot of different signs, that you may start noticing, or you may have already been noticing, like number combinations, like 333, 444. And I feel like when you see that, just stop for a second. What are you thinking about? Because there may be an answer through an angel message. So what I would do is just Google, like, say you see 333, and you feel like, oh, then Google angel message or angel meaning 333. Because I have a feeling that that's how your guides are going to, or not your guides, but your angels are going to reach you. Your guides are just going to send you signs after sign after sign. Sign, sign, everywhere, sign. All right, Mother Mary. Shout out real quick to my brother, Mike, who has crossed over January 24th. My daughter has an Aquarius moon. We have health, health. My prayers for healing miracles have been heard and answered. Hmm. I get a feeling that some of you are going to just start feeling better, better, and better. It's like if you've been lacking energy, all of a sudden you're going to find yourself with energy. If you've been lacking, let's say, chutzpah. That's a weird word. Don't know why I just said that. Um, but like, let's say the guts to release um, something creative. I feel like you will find it. Look at this. So, number one, hope. Well, that is the energy of your major arcana, the star. But Mother Mary's bringing us out hope. I trust that God has a wonderful solution and brilliant plans in store for me. Well, I already know He does. I already feel it. Okay, let's bring in the major arcanas. Makat. And again, I really use these for like bullet points, but many times they tell their own little story. All right, we have the hangman. Slow down, you move too fast. Let's see what he's swaying toward. Look at that. Oh, the strength card. But then look at this, the star. So interesting because Mother Mary is sending out hope. And that is what the star means. You know, keeping your hopes alive. But also knowing that, as it relates to the star, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, but this is about manifesting them. Interesting, the hangman is mirroring it. It's almost like maybe you haven't, like when is the perfect time? When will certain dreams start to manifest? So we have the strength card right in between that. Strength card, first of all, is card Leo. But it is about it's our inner workings. It's that willingness to go within and tame the beast within. It's a balance of the light and dark, but really it's the overcoming of the dark. And really understanding that you have power over the dark. And I'm talking about within oneself, but also um well, depending. So anyways, she's wearing the infinity, which is infinity goggles. As above, so below, no beginning, no end. So it makes sense that the hangman be the first card. Because the hangman is seeking wisdom, spiritual wisdom, but to use on this earthly plane. And mirroring the star, it's like, when is the right time? Well, even the strength card being a number 8, that's about a new beginning. So now, now is the right time. All right, let's bring in the Universal Tarot. Let's go deeper. Give him a cut. Oh, well, hello. That definitely wanted to come out. That'd be so interesting if it was those pages. But we shall see. All right. Well, better yet, the world. The next chapter. When you see the world, it does mean that a chapter is ending. Meant to end. Maybe I extracted all I could extract from it, and now it's time to move on to the next. I love the world's energy because I feel like it's a very spiritual time. And the hangman really is seeking, at least at my table, spiritual advice, but to use again on this earthly plane. But it's about bringing, a dream into one's reality. Well, feels like right now is the time. And in between, like this person is really the fool. And the fool just represents, the extracting the wisdom of the past, but not the hardship, not the anger, not the regret. Like the fool really clears all that energy. Even things that I've like tried, I tried and I tried. Um, but the fool knows when, like, okay, it's time to move on. So, and because this is the last tarot card, I often feels the closest energy to God. And this is where I really feel spirituality and really trusting within oneself. So, allowing a chapter to end makes sense. We're in a universal year 9, the last chapter of this 9-year cycle. And then we move into the magician. But it feels to me like you don't have to wait. Then we have the 6 of Cups. This is about nostalgia. It's interesting we saw those 2 pages. This can be someone that you knew back in the day, but this would be someone that you would have happy memories of. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a really good friend. You reconnect. Um, but I kind of love this just as the energy it represents. Some of you are thinking back to like happier times. And I don't know. I feel like because you are moving into what I would feel or what I feel is a pretty happy time. We'll see. This certainly can be that connection, but we'll see. Could be someone thinking of you out of the blue, also. Hmm. 4 of Cups. Interesting. So the 4 of Cups talks about emotional, discontentment. Maybe everything else in my life is looking pretty good, but I may not have emotional fulfillment. So the 4 of Cups is offering a cup. Here comes a cup. It's interesting because it's sitting next to the 6 of Cups. This cup is coming from the hand of divine. And the meaning is about learning to use your spiritual discernment relating to whether you accept this cup or not. Now, again, it doesn't have to be love, but it is fulfillment. And usually you'll see the person looking right at that cup. This person's got their head down, coming under a strength card. So, again, there may be something of an emotional nature that just needs, you know. Well, first of all, I would say really know yourself and love. Because if I want this cup, then I want it of the highest vibration, which means then I myself need to try to be in that energy. It's coming next to what I feel is very optimistic energy. And listen, I don't feel like I'm crying in my bed. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just that may be the one thing I feel is lacking. My creativity is like catching on fire. Um, my moods are better than ever. But yet, that one thing, it is following the world. So that means that this cup is meant to come in. Um, you do have free will, so you can always say no. But let's keep going. Let's follow that. Sun. Interesting double Leo right here. But the sun's coming right under your major arcana. Actually, I want to move this over a little bit. Which is quite beautiful because the sun is everything I was feeling in the beginning of the reading. It is like feeling like a kid again. You put the sun and the six of cups together, there's something happening here. But listen, it's happening of the light. That is definitely being represented. Like anything where the sun is at is illuminated. It's almost like it's like your spiritual team is saying, "What, you're ready for this cup?" And then the sun. Sun to me is also about a new beginning, right? The sun comes up, starts a brand new day. It's your illuminator. Also, I feel like when the sun is comes out, first of all, it represents to me a happy time, a carefree time, or at least that's the energy I can be in. The strength card probably means there was something, that you needed to look within yourself and maybe just find balance. But then finding that balance is what opens up the star. Again, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, but they're being illuminated. So they're being illuminated. We have, well, hello, beautiful temperance. Temperance mirroring the world. I don't know what more I could ask for. Temperance, her first message is patience. Well, that's what the hangman is, patience, right? I'm patient while I seek the wisdom. It's almost like I need the wisdom of my next steps before I actually make the move. The temperance is about trusting in divine timing and what's happening in divine timing. She's mixing, if you look at this image, she has these two cups in her hands. And, I often give her the role as making sure that both the cups are equally filled. So if this is talking about soulmate energy, then it's in this cup that's coming in because it's mirroring the world. All right, we have the King of Swords, can be you, another Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. And then we have the Five of Swords. These both came in reverse. And the Chariot in reverse. It's like, I feel like saying, like, I haven't seen a lot of action in my love life lately. It feels like other things are going pretty well. But as it relates to, movement within my love life, I feel like it's kind of been stagnant. But listen, I also feel this sense of that as it relates to love, like I don't feel like I'm interested in just anybody. So having divine here, who is connected to your next chapter, I mean, that's kind of beautiful alone. This hangman is receiving divine guidance about their next steps. So I feel like, I definitely feel the energy of, let's just talk about love for a second. Like, if I'm going to fall back in love, then it's really important to me, and I know this about you, Aquarius, that I be able to trust whoever I give my heart to 100%. I have no interest in dealing with anyone who's got issues. But I mean, like, the type of issues that they're not taking care of. Personal issues, but they're not doing anything about it. No, thank you. I think you're very, very clear on that. Communication, I feel, is a big thing also. Like a sense of if someone is all up in their ego, or just keep on walking, keep on moving. You got the wrong house. All right. Some of you could have been in a previous relationship where it really wasn't balanced, like the masculine, the feminine. There was some type of imbalance and probably some type of rough communication, or maybe even a lack of, don't play with Aquarius's heart. Don't play with Aquarius's heart. Um, though, as I say that, I feel you also don't want to hang on to those who did. You know what I mean? Like, it does feel like you've dealt with that in the past. And that's why you have no interest. You learn something important. You learn what you don't want in love, and that's important to know. You know that it needs to be balanced. You have no interest in anyone who's got like issues that they need to be taken care of. Like, I don't want to fix you. I don't mind helping, but I don't want to fix you. Done with that. Okay. Keep going. We have the King of Cups. Can be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Under the sun. And look what this king brings out. Hello, Ace of Cups. Right under Temperance. How beautiful is that? Here's that cup coming in the Four of Cups. Here is the actual cup. And now we know it's in divine timing. We know it's part of your next chapter. We can't deny that. And why would we want to? And then again, I mean, you can say yay or nay anywhere along the way. But because this is being ushered in by divine and in divine timing, and let's say any of you have been praying about the right person or the right type of person, well, your prayers are being heard. Not only are they being heard, but they're being answered. This feels like that there may have been some important elements, you know, that were very important to you and for you. And what I mean by that is like some of you, again, taking your creative nature and doing something with that And it definitely feels like it was meant to be. So sometimes love can be, in a way held back because what you're doing, like within your own life, is just as important. And when temperance is connected to the Ace of Cups, it really means that you can let go of control. This is the thing that just finds you. It just finds you. We have two kings. Both the kings are in the upright. King of Swords is probably you, male or female. King of Cups, he's got this cup in his hand, and it is like he's waiting to get out of this chair, like he's being patient. But it looks like he's delivering this cup. Now, the King of Cups is, and by the way, it can be male or female, just know that. And I say that because we have both, female and male, so we have to read it both ways. But anyways, the King of Cups or even the Queen of Cups is someone who, I feel is happier in a relationship. Um, Now, if it was reversed, I'd say the opposite, but it's not reversed. And the sun is right above him. So it feels like someone is about to get out of their chair. And then comes this Ace of Cups. And now I kind of love that the Five of Swords and the Chariot are reversed. You know, it's almost like, in a way, protection, like spiritual protection that well, let's put it a different way because I feel like this is being divinely guided to me means it was probably predestined. Um, and I often feel when something is predestined that there's probably more than one thing that was predestined. So this love may be predestined, but also what you're doing in the world. And there should be a sense of joy attached to it. It could be hard work, but yet loving what you do at the same time. It's almost like my Aquariuses have been busy working on themselves, working on projects, creating, and it feels like all of that was meant to be. But for some, it feels like, the one thing I may be lacking is love. Well, here it comes. Here it comes to save the day. For some of you, it can relate back to that Six of Cups. Hmm. And, I just get this feeling that you have been on someone's mind. You have been on someone's mind. And maybe all of a sudden you start thinking about them. You may even say, like, well, that's weird. Why am I thinking about this person all of a sudden? Well, they may be those pages, right? Because one was the Page of Swords, which would be at least the inner you. But again, if this is about someone of the past, then it would be the younger you. We have the Three of Wands on the bottom of the deck, optimism. This is about living in the present moment. Finding reasons to be grateful. Um, this is knowing that your ships will come in their due time. This is trusting in divine timing. King of Pentacles underneath that. Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Interesting underneath that. Because we have the King of Swords and the King of Cups. So, King of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. Queen of Cups, and then the wheel. Mm. It's almost like it's hidden, right? It's hidden, but yet we still see it. All right, I'm going to take the Gilded Tarot over this reading. So far, what I'm feeling is anything you've had in the works that you've been waiting for, the perfect time. This feels like the perfect time. And you may be a little nervous about bringing it out to the world, but again, I feel like whatever you're doing, the right people will find you. Let's say you make soaps and candles and that. Well, I just feel like your spiritual team will guide the right people to you. And by the way, if you do that, leave your link under the comments so that we can help support you in any way, in anything you do. I do feel like there's someone out there who makes, like, I feel soaps, candles, like, I feel like this, like a Zen type of feeling with it. Feels good. Like, I want to buy one right now. All right. So we're going to start at the beginning, but we are reading it as a whole. All right, we have the Queen of Pentacles who just flipped herself around. Does that mean this queen is leaving the picture? Is this queen meant to be in the past and not in the future? We'll see. Look at this, another queen who flipped herself around. The Queen of Swords now. Over the Six of Cups. Interesting. Okay. You know what I'm feeling? I feel that there is someone who is thinking of you and probably has thought about you. You know, I have a hard time. Well, I don't have a hard time, but I know a lot of people don't like me talking about people of the past and them returning. But listen, if this is meant to be, then I feel like it's meant to be. And I can't leave it out because this is exactly how my life went. You know what I mean? Like, this is what happened to me. I connected to someone out of the blue that I knew or I dated in my teenage years. But what I was going to say is, I feel like this other person, they may have just gotten a divorce. They might have broken up with someone. Because I feel like the queen is not coming along. So, and I don't really feel it's for you. I feel like it's for someone else. And then I feel the Queen of Swords is you. Um, but I'm not looking at this in a negative way. Being in reverse, I feel it's more almost like you're the one who got away, so to speak. You're the one who might have remained like within someone's heart, within someone's mind, but at the same time, something, it just might not have been the right time. I totally get that because again, it is my life. But let's keep going. Holy cow. Okay. We'll take them. But let's take them the way they came out. So we're going to put that one on that one on that. We're going to take the face up first. We have the Nine of Cups. I don't know, Aquarius, I feel like someone has become single. And, the Nine of Cups speaks of inner harmony, but also fulfillment of wishes. Now, it could be you, and you may be in a single status. And again, you've been working hard in other areas of your life, but maybe the one place you feel is still lacking is within love. Wow. Maybe this was important, whether it be someone else becoming single and then you being single, like both being single at the right time. But listen, the person in the Nine of Cups is pretty happy. Um, and may say to themselves, okay, well, the only thing I don't have is like true love right now, but everything else is feeling pretty good. I just have a feeling also, and I know I'm telling a couple different stories, but I do have a feeling that someone is now in the single status. And I feel like it's the other person who may have been thinking about you. Now, could this be past lives? Well, I would never rule that out when Temperance is here because, again, I feel like she speaks of soulmates and she's got this Ace of Cups right below her, and that's unconditional. And I feel like that never ends. So it could certainly be lifetime after lifetime. Um, all right, well, let's keep going. Well, hello, Ten of Pentacles over the Sun, connected to your major arcana. And then the Five of Pentacles. It's almost like, man, I had all this money and boom, now I have half of it. But I don't really think that's the case. I feel like the Ten of Pentacles is representing what you can really do in the world and, the benefits you receive. The Ten of Pentacles is the house of abundance. The sun is underneath it, so, that's beautiful. I feel like that's talking about your ability to truly create. Some of you are working out of your home and loving every moment of it. And it could have started because something was taken away, like a job or what have you. But then you found this new avenue and it feels like it just fits you perfectly. Again, you still need the guts to bring it out to the world, but and when I say the world, it doesn't have to mean like the whole entire world, you know. So then we have the Five of Pentacles. Well, that feels like it's tying back to the Hangman for me. Five of Pentacles can mean something that happens outside of our control, but it's mirroring the Queen over here that's in reverse. So I feel like this is more about someone up here. It's interesting because now I'm not really feeling it's you in the Hangman position, it's someone else, but it's because of you, yeah, or they're thinking of you. And this may have just, like, it may have amplified because I feel like they were connected to someone else and they're no longer connected to someone else. I feel like they are single and some of you are single. I forgot we had all these cards down here. We have the Strength card again. So we have like triple Leo. We have Temperance again, double Sagittarius. We have the Knight of Swords. Here comes some type of communication. Well, hello, lovers. Hello, lovers. Right over the King of Cups, who wants to get out of that seat and give that cup to someone. And literally does. So the meaning of the lovers is a head over heart decision. And I'm sure that's going to be part of it. But yet it is mirroring the star. So for some of you, I feel like this is something that you had hoped and wished for. I love that image. It's like the feminine is in the forefront of someone's mind, of the masculine's mind. Now, if you're a male, it's the other way around. But you can see the person or the masculine hasn't reached the feminine yet, but they can feel each other's energy. And that's kind of what I'm feeling here. Like all of a sudden, do I start to think of someone out of the blue? We have the Three of Cups over the Ace of Cups. And then look at this, the King of Swords again under the King of Swords. Like-minded energy for sure. It's interesting because I feel like there's a similarity between two people. And it's something that each of them had to figure out and really, let's say, overcome. But it was to find real balance in their life again. And, it's a sense of courage. And once you have that, it never really leaves. And this does feel like a month to have this courage. Three of Cups is the energy of joy and celebration over the Ace of Cups. Temperance, divine timing, coming over the reversal of the Five of Swords. That makes complete sense to me because if it was flipped the other way around, it would talk about a lot of toxicity being around you. Or let's say it's the other person within the lovers. They may have gone through that and it's like your spiritual team is like, well, we don't want you involved in that part, right? Maybe somebody needed to end something on their own, right? They had to find that courage. It's like it was their plight. But boy, do I feel like someone's thinking about you. And then we have the Knight of Swords over the reversal of the Chariot. So it feels like where there was no movement, all of a sudden there is movement. It's like Temperance is lifting the gates and it's go time. All right, let's go right below it since we already have the King. Page of Wands made its way back out. The Hangman over the reversal of the Chariot. That makes sense. What is it mirroring? It's mirroring the Strength card. So each, it feels like, of the lovers finding like this courage, this balance within themselves, first and foremost. Um, you know, it just feels like even though there could be some discontentment and boredom within, like, again, one's emotional life, in a way, I feel like the hangman is somewhat of a protector, because this feels like it's coming towards you, and anything else might just be more of a free will type of thing. So it's like you meet someone, but then immediately you feel like, well, that's not right. Well, I feel like that's your spiritual team, like we have someone else in mind. Five of Swords. Let's try to get one more out. To complete the picture, that hangman that brings out the Five of Swords. My God, does that feel like protection for you? Like there could be someone else who was dealing with some type of toxic energy, and it may be someone outside themselves. But again, this wasn't your plight. This wasn't for you to handle or even be involved in. We have the Six of Pentacles, and with the Six of Pentacles, we have the Two of Wands. So I feel like someone's saying yes to a new path. It is mirroring you. 66 right there. Six of Pentacles to me is that fine art of give and take. And, balance really is everything. Um, it's a very compassionate and empathetic energy, and it is the energy of wanting to help. But I feel like in that energy, we have to learn also, like, you know, who we're helping. Are we giving them a hand up, or are they just taking advantage of in the way we're trying to help? But I have to tell you, I feel this is more about someone else and what they've gone through, um, and what they had to realize. It's interesting the way your reading's going because it really seems like it wants to talk about this other person, what they've gone through, what your spiritual team didn't want you to have to go through. And again, some of you doing something that I feel like brings you a real sense of joy. Again, I'm not going to say it doesn't take hard work. The Ten of Pentacles, I'm willing to put that work in. But the Sun is like illuminating your money. So it just simply feels like someone had to free themselves and find this inner harmony for themselves first and foremost. I feel like you, unless I'm reading it backwards, it feels like you have already found that. I'm saying you found that inner harmony. It doesn't mean everything's going perfect in your life, but enough is. This person's doing a cheer, ching ching. But here comes this Knight of Swords, which is right in the middle of the reading, and it's coming from the Lovers, right through Temperance. That means divine timing. Remember, we started with the world, then your new chapter that's opening up. It may, for some of you, include someone, someone back in the day. And I'm just really trying to figure out if this is talking about this lifetime or a previous lifetime. Now, because I know temperance is really, it really makes sure that the soulmate energy, that both cups are equally filled. But I feel like, that can certainly mean lifetime after lifetime. And then I just get the sense of maybe being with someone back in the day and then it not working out. But I feel like because it wasn't meant to me, I feel like you were meant to meet, don't get me wrong. You know, um, but I don't feel like it was the right time, let's say forevermore. I feel like someone had to leave another. Part of what may have been, let's say, could have held them in place longer than they really wanted. Could have been money, knowing that chances are they were married, because I feel like if I divorce, then chances are I'm losing half of what I have. But I feel like their joy and their happiness and, their emotional, um, their emotions, like, and what they want in their life, feel like it's more important to them now. It's like their spiritual team is saying, you'll recoup. You'll recoup, but if you want a better life, then you need to move forward with this. Or accept that this is just the way it's going to be. But I don't feel like they do. So, the one thing we know for sure is that someone's going to be communicating with you. It's coming from the lover's energy, which means it's going to put you in a question mode. Do I follow my heart or do I follow my head? Well, because the Ace of Cups is underneath it and the Two of Wands, to me is like my yes card. Even the Page of Wands is my risk taker. This could be their younger self also. So I think what I want to do, um, let's just look at the Lovers, the Knight of Swords, and Temperance. And what I want to know is this talking about this person in the Six of Cups? We have the Seven of Cups, the Fool, the Three of Swords, and the Page of Cups. Interesting. Saying interesting because the Fool's all about a new beginning. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith. And I feel like the Page of Cups, it can represent someone else. But I kind of feel it's more like your inner child. Because I feel like you have had your heart broken. So I could see, maybe that's why some of you are like, well, I like my life just the way it is, thank you. But what if this happens? It's up to you. The fool needs to take that leap of faith. But the fool's not hanging on to like old regrets, old heartache, that type of thing. It is about a new beginning. And it's like temperance is helping you to make that decision. I get this feeling that for some of you, that love enters in a time where you may be very busy. You're doing your thing. And, because I feel like you may have that intention out there. Like you may start to think of someone. And again, it doesn't have to be of this lifetime. And if it's not, then it's like a past life follower, but of a soulmate nature. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? It's almost like the Knight of Cups needs to be out because this feels unexpected. But it is about a new beginning, which makes sense also with the world here. Will you take that leap of faith? I just want to look just a little deeper. Seven of Swords, 77, 1977. That was a good year. I was 17. Here's the thing. I feel like because many of you have cleared a lot of old energy, let's say. You may say, there's no way I want to repeat something. And I get that. However, it almost feels like it would be almost impossible to, like, let's say, hang the phone up on this person. We have the Nine of Pentacles. I like that. Tell you why I like that. I feel like it's telling us a couple different things here. First of all, the Nine of Pentacles would talk about you, your independence. This is successful self-employment, and I felt where some of you could be working out of the home and may find yourselves like becoming very abundant. This is also a very independent type energy, and that might be also really important, right? The Nine of Pentacles mirroring the Nine of Cups. Well, hello, inner harmony and independence, which I feel like is a big thing for you also, Aquarius. Like that feeling of that you can take care of yourself. So if I fall in love, I'm not falling in love because I want someone to come in and like financially take care of me. Because I don't feel like whatever you're beginning or whatever you've created, I don't feel like you want to give that up. And I feel like you shouldn't give it up because, again, I feel like your money house is on fire. Literally on fire with the sun under the Ten of Cups. So to me, it feels like so someone comes in, let's say, professes their love for me. It doesn't have to be all that, but they at least communicate with me. It could for a moment bring up some old wounds, wounds that, well, that's what a soulmate does. It kind of holds up a mirror. We hold up a mirror to each other, and anything that's been, unhealed, let's say, unresolved, we're going to see it. We're going to feel it. But it is an opportunity to learn from it, understand it, and then close it. So, yes, some of these old wounds may come to the surface, but I don't feel like it has anything to do with this person. And I also feel the divine is saying, even though there may for some be some discontentment and boredom in your emotional world, like don't don't regret like any time you've been alone, especially if you've been receiving epiphanies or you've been working on something, that seems important. And it seems important for you. And maybe it's so that you can feel truly independent. And I feel like that's what brings you inner harmony. That is your inner harmony. So that's kind of what I feel. It may bring up just a few past wounds, but I feel like this person means you no harm. Quite the opposite. Okay, well, let's pick this up. And what do I want to look at? Let's look at the two queens. I'm not even sure why, because I feel like I already know what that is. I feel like the Queen of Pentacles is leaving someone's life, and the Queen of Swords is you. And even though you're in reverse, I feel like you're in reverse just because you're not together. But yet, the way they think about you, brings them a sense of joy. All right, so I'm not meant to look at the Queen, so what else do I want to look at? I want to look at the lovers, just the lovers. Just the lovers. Wow. Queen of Wands, my Queen of Action. This is a queen that moves according to her passions, her desires. Look what she's doing. She's lighting a flame. It's almost like she's putting that intention out there. We have the Chariot, but now we have it in the upright. And we're only looking at the lovers. And then look at this. Well, hello, soulmates. So, though I didn't feel like I needed the verification, here it is for the confirmation. And, these two soulmates are looking eye to eye. Well, that is the window to each other's soul. It is that recognition. So, whether you know this person in this lifetime or not, you're going to have that feeling. You're going to have that feeling. And yes, it can be scary for a moment. Like, oh my God, holy cow. But everything is giving you the go signal. The Queen of Wands, very intuitive. But it does feel like she's like one of her intentions. And I do feel like you are the queen, by the way. And I feel like it's you lighting that fire. It's almost like a symbol to the universe that you're ready for this. And then it shows. This communication, it could go either way. If there's someone on your mind, like I would say, well, if you feel like unrestricted in it, and why I'm saying that is because I do feel like this other person has life things that they need to deal with. And one of them, they're either going through a divorce or they're separating from someone. And I feel like it's like been a while. They could have been in like a long-term relationship, but I feel like the only thing that's really held them in place was the money factor, not the love factor. That knowing that, okay, well, chances are I'm going to lose half of what I own. But then accepting that. And listen, I still feel like they're doing fine, but it just feels like your spiritual team is like, we don't want you involved in that part of their life because that would just add drama in your life. So let's let them take care of what they need to take care of. And then that will be divine timing. Let's not forget, again, we open this reading up with the world, your next chapter that is mirroring temperance. So patience, but then divine timing. And, just like I felt easier or earlier, like I have no interest And anyone that has to come, that's coming in that has toxicity, that has issues, I want someone of a higher vibrational energy, which does mean that you yourself need to be there, right? That's a law of attraction. What I think about, I bring about. But also, whatever vibration I send out is the vibration the universe must meet. They don't decipher, like, did she really mean to send that out? Well, she sent it out, so, and that's what it feels like in a way, a symbol, like lighting a white candle. But I also love the chariot with this because the chariot represents unlimited potential and it is the balance of the feminine and the masculine. And I feel like there was, I'm going to say an imbalance, but again, it doesn't feel like it had anything to do with you. There is an imbalance within their life. Well, I don't know what else I could have asked for around that energy. 22, the soulmates, and then stepping upon the path, and it's the path of the wands, passion, right? Passion's probably going to be ignited. Just like when we look at the lovers, how the feminine is feeling the energy of the masculine, but they're not actually together yet. So some of you are feeling this before it even happens. So I want to ask a question. Is this of a past life? The magician, the four of swords, and then look at this, the ace of swords. So, number one, the ace of swords to me is my yes card. So the answer is yes. You have had a past life together. And it's like past lives following into this lifetime. I do feel like for many of you, though, you've also been together or you know each other from this lifetime. You don't have to have been together, but for some reason you are on their mind. The world with the magician. Well, that's what we're moving into, the year of the magician in 2026. But this is representing, to me, like, I feel like we don't have to wait for the energy of the magician, right? If we ourselves are willing to clear past energy, close whatever cycles need to be closed, which is really a symbol to the universe that you're open and ready for, especially with temperance here so much, like just trusting in divine timing and just saying, I'm open, but I'm open to high vibrational energy. Four swords right in between that, healing. And I feel like that's not only do soulmates like hold up a mirror for each other, but it is so that they can heal those broken pieces. Not to be like, hey, look at that broken part of you. It's all about healing. Soulmates are beautiful with healing, like those broken little pieces that sometimes we thought that was already healed. But there's a sense of real comfort here. Well, because you've known each other before. So, this is definitely a past life soulmate follower. And this is just the right time. It just is. It's the right time now. it may just be the beginning. It may just start as like a phone call. I feel like communications is a big part of it. So someone reaching out maybe through text or on your social media. And it could be someone like just out of the blue. I don't know. If you have any interest, I would strike up a conversation. Though I feel like they will. And if you have no interest, just let it be. Let it be. But let's remember the lovers is really about chemistry. So I feel like bottom line, do your thing this month. Like, do your thing. Put your energy in your creative house and just watch it catch on fire in the best of ways. I feel like just be open. It's not that you have to say, "Oh, I want love." Though let's not forget the 4 of cups is discontentment and boredom in one's emotional world. Your money, phew, it definitely just looks like, as long as you're willing to put the focus in, then I feel like your money's just going to grow and grow and grow. Let's just say if it's a business, then it's just going to grow and grow to the point where, let's say it's like just your baby, you may have to hire people to help you. Like that's how fast I feel um, your abundance can grow starting in June. And then this love it's just going to enter. It's just going to enter. There's going to be some type of communication. It keeps putting the ball in your court. So, you'll say yes or no. You might even say no. But I have a feeling even if you say no, this type of energy, I don't feel like would just then go away. I feel like they would try to win you over. All right. Let's bring out the clarifying love situations. Let's actually pick this up. I mean, how beautiful is just this corner? Temperance, divine timing, the lovers, the Ace of Cups, unconditional love. That's why I was feeling that. Like, when I saw the Ace of Cups, I was feeling like this is a love that just never ended. And of course it didn't. It's soul connected. And then the unlimited potential. Why? Because there's real balance here. So, all right. Let's give him a cut. All right. We're going to take face up first. Um, we have counsel's compass. Seek advice to steer judgment as insightful talks illuminate your journey. Well, insightful talks illuminate your journey. All this energy of communication, whirlwind. Don't get caught up in the drama. Choose peace. This is what I feel like your spiritual team is saying. They didn't want you caught up in that drama. They want you to feel peaceful. Like they want you to be in that Nine of Cups energy and the Nine of Pentacles. And then we have empathetic bridges. Embrace healing by helping, or I'm sorry, embrace healing by being kind balancing life's contrasting forces. Boy, I feel like some of you, that's what you do for a living. Empathetic bridges. Like, I could see that being someone's title. The other side, divine union. Use the wings of empathy to bring love and harmony. Hmm. Okay. Let's pick these up. And last but not least, let's bring out the romance angels. It's interesting. No matter how hard I try not to make something a love reading, it always wants to go there. But love is an important component for our souls. It's not the only thing our souls came in this lifetime for. And that's what your guides want you to know. Like you have a lot of talent and a lot of creativity. You have a lot of wisdom and I often think of you as a very deep thinker. Now you take all of that and you create from that. Like I could see you helping others to find their path. Like how did you find this inner harmony? Well, have a seat, my dear, and let me tell you. Free yourself, and the rest will follow. It's time to take back control of your life. Free yourself. I have to tell you, it kind of feels like it's talking to this person over there. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. And then we have honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Interesting. It's like a honeymoon period. And then let go of control issues. Allow the situation to flow naturally. That makes complete sense. Temperance, that's exactly what temperance would say. Just allow it to flow naturally. What? Well, this love, it's flowing. It's here. But really, all areas of your life. Maybe you're creating something and, you could come up with like writer's block, let's say. But that could be because there may be, your mind or your interest may be peaked over here. So it could be a new element that you add into an existing platform that, it's like how I do tarot readings and now I also do podcast. I'm not going to say I'm making money off them. I'm not. Um, but I enjoy them. So, you know, it's really a beautiful type of energy because it just allows you just to go with the flow. I feel like, especially because I am feeling energy of like, soulmates who have followed from a past life, um, all in its divine timing. Your guides don't want you involved in anyone else's drama. Let them handle it. And when they do, then that will be the right timing. But in the meantime, it's like just enjoying your life, doing the things that bring you joy, being in your playful nature. Like this feels like a month where you're really meant to be uplifted. I won't say there's no issues, but any issues you may come across, I feel like you can easily overcome them. It's not really showing any blocks. So I feel like it's more just go with the flow, baby. Go with the flow. Mother Mary, hope, health. And, some of this feels like it's relieving stress. And that's a good thing. All right. I'm looking at honeymoon and I'm thinking, first of all, I'm noticing this person is coming across the water. So this could be someone who doesn't even live close to you. Sam and I lived in different states when we reconnected. It was over the phone. And, it took me 5 years to come together. And it was me. It took me 5 years. But I don't regret that because over the phone is really how we got to know each other again, how to, get to know each other as adults. We were kids back then. We're adults now. So, just saying that because for some of you, it could be someone who lives, far off lands. But I really feel like it's also talking about like the honeymoon period, the romance of it all, the butterflies of it all, and allowing yourself to enjoy it without putting a lot of pressure on it, right? Again, it's unfolding naturally. Listen, this type of love, I feel like, especially when we ourselves have cleared a lot of the past and we're open, then I feel like this is every chance to last forevermore. All right, guys, I'm going to let that be. Um, I hope you are noticing, though, that this is not just talking about love, though love is an important component of it. Doesn't mean it has to be. It's up to you. But what I want you to really notice is how your creativity is giving you the ability to create true abundance for yourself. And I feel like that's important because I feel like divine has her hands in that too, which to me means that you will receive like epiphany signs, and just be open to the signs, pay attention to the signs. If you're unsure of a sign, you can certainly ask for it to be sent again. But I feel like, honestly, it's like your prayers and your affirmations are being answered. And some of you, your clue may be like out of the blue, you start thinking about someone. Well, oftentimes it's because they're thinking about us. It's almost like getting you ready. All right, I'm going to let that be. I love you guys. I thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.